Hey guys, welcome to Expertisor Academy and 3ds Max Fundamentals. So this is a tutorial where we're going to run through 3ds Max from a very fundamental level for any beginner to get started. So this is nothing too advanced. So most of these things I want people to get really comfortable with the user interface and understanding all the different tools and get yourself used with the navigation and then creating objects, modifying it, basic animations and effects. And so this is all we're going to do in this training tutorial, and there is going to be more advanced tutorial coming for 3ds Max on specific areas. And I'm going to do separate courses for civil engineers and architects and things like that as well. And if you have any specific questions, just ask me in the comment section. And in expertisoracademy.in, we have also adding the full bundle packages as well, so you can get it there. And as in YouTube, you're just going to give only a certain number of videos as a free. But you can get the full course in Expertisor Academy. The link can be found in the description. All right, so let's get started. And if you guys haven't got 3ds Max installed, just install 3ds Max on your computer, and you can get a 30-day free trial to get it installed. And yeah, so once you install, you can kick start it, and we can get started with training. All right, so let's understand what is 3ds Max and who should be using 3ds Max. I already did a complete video on 3ds Max versus Maya comparison in the channel, and you can check that video. And so that will hold true with any other media software comparison, 3ds Max against Cinema 4D or Rhino if you take it, and it will all be the same, because 3ds Max, it works in Cartesian coordinates, and it's similar to what you are doing with AutoCAD and Revit. And so it's very easily portable. The data is very portable, and you find it very native to work on 3ds Max compared to when you're coming from AutoCAD or any other software. And so it's meant for engineering, AEC, basically architects, engineers, and construction field designers and drafters. And you can easily get into 3ds Max and to create some very good visuals, applying materials and creating renders and animations. And 3ds Max is a modeling software, not an animation software. A lot of people tend to confuse 3ds Max with Maya and other products. But this does have some animation capabilities, but this is not meant for doing complete animation. This is meant for creating 3D models. And you can create wide variety of 3D models. There is plenty of tools and plenty of modifiers here to get you done whatever you wanted. So yeah, so let's get started. So first thing is to understand the user interface. 3ds Max comes with a simple interface, which is similar to what you see in Revit or Inventor or any of those things. You might find it familiar. And you have the classic file menu on the top, and you have the standard file menu where you can actually open, save files, and you also can import, export objects. And you can go to preference and adjust some of the preference of these the software that you have. And then you can go to edit, and you can edit the object, and you can move, rotate, scale, all of these things. And these tools can be found up here as well. So these tools can be found up here. And then we go to tools, and there is a bunch of explorers that you can find. So these explorers will come in handy when you guys start working on some of the scene animations. And then layers is a pretty useful one. And you find it pretty handy, just like how you use it in AutoCAD and Photoshop. You find it very handy. And then you have other tools that you can help to manage the object and the settings and things like that. And then groups, you can group objects and ungroup objects. And views, you can manage your view here. Right now it shows you what viewport you're working at and what's the type of style for your viewport, and all of those things which you can control from here. And then creation. So anything that you're going to do with 3ds Max, it starts with creation. It's creating from a standard primitive object to extended object to making it a modifier to your need. To start with, the creation basically gives you all the objects that you can create it under one menu. And this is the same thing that you can find it up here as well. So you can create all these objects, the same set of things that you find it up here, you can also find it up here. And then modifiers. So once you create your object, you basically adjust your object to go to a certain location, move it to a certain location, scale it, rotate it, do all of that sort of stuff. And then you apply modifiers. So the modifiers is like editing your object, merging your object, and doing all that sort of things. And then animation, as I said, even though this is not an pure animation software, it has got quite a bit of powerful tools to get you started with doing some animations. And then graph editors, and then renders, So finally, once you're done with everything with your project, you're going to create a montage or an image or a video. For that, you need rendering. So this comes up with all the rendering settings that you can control, and you can create renders from here. And then customize, you can customize the interface that you have here, and with your own menus, you can add your own menus and tool sets and toolbars and flyout toolbars and all of that sort of stuff. And scripting, we will actually talk about scripting in later chapters. Probably it may come in the advanced course, but scripting is something very handy, guys, and it actually helps you to do things much faster. A lot of repetitive task can be scripted, and it can actually make it a lot easier. And we will also talk about macro recorder as well, which is very handy to do a lot of those repetitive work. And then Arnold is like one of the rendering engine, and this was our settings for that. And Substance, Civil View, if you guys are actually working along with Civil 3D, Civil View is one of the must software to have it. So it creates, like if you're creating an intersection, roundabouts, roads and designs and things like that, you can preview it here, and you can throw some actual traffic in it, and you can create some video visualization here. And then Flow, so create all your view all your flows and things like that. You can do it as we go, and we can see it. And the tools right up here, you can see the basic modifying tools appear, linking, unlinking objects, and then selection, object selection, move, scale, rotate, scale, and all of those things. And then we have the snap options. Like if you want to create an object, you don't want to create it out of thin air, and you wanted to create it on top of an existing object at a particular angle or anything like that, these things helps you to do it. And then we have mirror, align, all of these tools. And then we have materials, and how to apply materials into these objects. And so like that, so you can apply materials into objects, and then you can go to render settings and choose your render engine, and then finally produce your render. And then you can also see a bunch of tools here. This is all for your renders, and this is all the same tools that you see up here. And then this is your main viewport, we would say it. And you can see by default it comes with 4. You can use your as you go into the middle of it, you can see this little gripper here. With that one, you can adjust all the viewports at one go. And if you want to adjust one particular viewport, you can do that as well. And if you say like, okay, I completely screwed up, I don't know how to put it back to normal, you can right click and then click on reset layout, and that resets the layout. And so once you are in here, so you can actually see each viewport actually tells you what view you're looking at. This is a top view, this is a bottom view, this is a right view, and what type of looks you have here, whether this is a standard or high performance, high, low quality, and things like that. And this is basically, it renders it on the fly. And then the shading type, so you want it as wireframe or default shading. So let's put a box in here. So if you see it, this looks like a completely shaded one. It shows in color, and this one doesn't show, it just shows the wireframe. So you can choose which one you want to have, whether you wanted to have a wireframe or edge to faces, or you wanted to have a default shading. So you can choose however you want it. And then each of those viewports has got a view cube. If you want to go and work on one particular viewport, the keyboard shortcut is Alt W, and if you click on Alt W again, it comes out of it. And you can use this button here to go into a viewport and come out of the viewport. And once you're in the viewport, you get the view cube. You can see the view cube on the top, and these view cubes helps you to align objects in the view that you wanted. Now with this view cube, you can actually use the view cube. You can put your mouse on top of it, and you can hold it, and you can actually rotate the object and rotate your view, I mean. And you can come down to front view, or you can come down to your right view or your top view. And if you want to put it back to your original view, you can click on the home button, which will take you to your perspective view. And if you want to rotate the view cube your own wish, hold down your Alt key and then middle mouse button, hold it, and then you can hold it. You can rotate it. Okay. To zoom in, zoom out, middle wheel, you can zoom in, zoom out using the middle mouse wheel, and then hold down your middle mouse button just without clicking on any keys. You can pan it. And so this is your rotate, Alt and middle mouse button, and zoom in, zoom out using the mouse wheel, and then hold down your mouse wheel to pan it. And now that is done. And so now if you go to your bottom, you can see your little timeline here. This is for your animation, where you can actually change your timestamp and then create a key, and then it basically does the animation. There is a very simple trick animation video that I have done. You can check that to run. and and then in the bottom you can see a bunch of tools here, and which shows you the location and the cursor, where the location of your cursor, you can see it as you move your cursor, you can shows you where you are looking at. And then you can create auto keys, you can play your animation, and then you can see a bunch of other tools to say okay, zoom in all or zoom into a specific location. And if you want to zoom into a particular object, let's say you might have multiple objects, and then you want to work on one particular object, you want to zoom into that, select the object and then click on Z, and that will zoom into that particular object. And similarly you have other little tools that you can play around with that. And that's basically the introduction. Yeah, and then we forgot this one. This is like you have the tools here to create all objects up here. So this is the geometry, and you can choose standard primitives, extended, compound, and all that. And then you have shapes, and then we have lights, camera, and you have helpers, and you have forces, and all of these things. And similarly you can use the modifiers, like adding union, merge, and the merge and things like that. Okay, so this is the introduction into 3ds Max, and we will get into more deeper as we go. And if you guys have any specific questions, just put it onto the comment section, and we can yeah, I'll try to answer it, and we'll catch up at some time. All right, thank you guys, and cheers.